Welcome to the team meeting.
I do come into a room because I was in the room. I had no business being in that room, right? I know because just the knowledge about finance and things like that. It was a business conference. Sometimes you may have a sense they only want to talk to me because I perform well on the field, and so or I represent, or I played for the Patriots, or I played this, or I played, so, and you gotta have that. It'd be kind of a self battle, whether do I belong or do they only listen to me because I play at their favorite team or something. So, it was definitely a battle. I had to go and do meditation, things like that throughout the conference, and just, like you say, had that self-talk that, man, I do belong here. Like I got knowledge. I, graduated econ, got a little business knowledge on me. So, I still had to learn. So I had to be vulnerable enough to learn, but I do belong here. And so, but with all that, the accolades coming, and we can also, like my boy Tank said, have identity theft to where the accolades, the fame, and all that kind of takes away from my identity. I feel consumed by it. So when that don't come, what do you give? Go back to Tank. What kind of advice do you give to athletes that may be struggling with that? Like, how do, because you played the game a long time and you had to come out of it and you went back in the game, but you still had to deal with that transition. So what advice do you have to an athlete currently to, deal with that transition?
Yeah, so we talking to athletes.
Yeah.
We talking to team-oriented people,
Yeah.
teamwork guys,
Yeah.
Guys that have dealt with losses, dealt with winning, dealt with adversity, guys that have been through the trenches of coaching change or maybe position change.
Survivors.
So I'm talking to an audience that needs to know the skill of what it takes to be great and how to overcome stuff and how to deal with big moments.
Yeah.
So my big advice is, one, you named it, meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation can happen with thyself or with thy neighbor, right, with a partner, a teammate. My big thing is they gotta have a team. Don't ever stop having a team.
Yeah.
That could be a cousin, a brother, a father, a sibling. It could be anybody. Having a team and just being able to talk it out and give each other that talk that you had to have pregame, that pregame speech. Give it to yourself. That goes with the business environment. That goes with the tech industry you're striving to become a part of, whatever it may be. The life skill of how to give yourself motivation, how to inspire yourself. That's huge in my eyes. I work with guys now that I still motivate. Older, younger, it don't matter. I'm in the business of inspiration and motivation to make you do something you never thought you can do before, which is go out and beat the #1 team in the nation, whatever it may be. So I give those dudes that are now done with ball or in an environment, in a certain environment that they're not dealing with ball, all right, is to take those lessons from sports, which is being a great teammate, which is having great leadership skills within small groups, dealing with we all done it before. We won the biggest game in the world. Now we got to repeat it. Right. Now we got to do it again. You just Super Bowl champion. I'm talking to some Super Bowl champions. You got to do it again. So the highest of highs, you got to repeat. And then the lowest of lows, you can't use that as losing. That's learning. What did you learn from it? So the biggest thing that I give to former athletes or anybody struggling is get yourself in the mindset of what did you do as an athlete to overcome a moment, or what did you do as an athlete to win this impossible mission, and then apply that to the classroom setting or the office setting, the cubicle setting, whatever it may be, outside of the grass. So it's just those skills. And you named it. One big skill is meditation. That's huge. It's huge for everybody.
Like you said, you gotta, have that skill of meditation. And then, like you said, you went down that list of all the things that come with being an athlete, all the things that you overcame, coaching change and things like that. Like, you've dealt with a lot just being an athlete. So outside of the game, just know that you have that, I guess, resume. You got that resume. You got that, that's what comes with it. So and just having that confidence with it, I think a lot of players, especially in the we're gonna be real, just in the group of athletes, majority black, and they got homies, they got a group of friends, group of partners, group of family members, whatever, that they had to leave and they became somebody. And so, you may have a sense of, okay, I feel a little guilty. I think we were talking about this yesterday, Jay Green, like feeling a little guilty that, man, I made it out. I'm the one that made it out. So, and why am I different from you, man? This is my homie, grew up with him. We did things together, whatever, but I'm the one got the opportunity. And now when I come back home, I think a lot of athletes, a lot of, young men, women maybe too, that kind of deal with, man, I gotta go back home. I gotta stay real. I gotta stay connected. I don't want to change up on my homies. And so, they kind of deal with a little bit of different, even while in the game, making all these millions, but I'm feeling bad because my homie ain't here, or, and so going back, like I say, just give a little advice, to somebody who may be in that predicament, feeling guilty, feeling bad, and who may be a little self-conscious about that.
Yeah. My advice for him, just like I said, remember who you are.
Yeah.
And be you.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the African American community, it is what's acceptable.
Yeah.
Being an athlete is what's seen as a positive thing, but it's something to brag about.
Yeah.
And then when you do compete and make it, then, like you said, that's your foundation, who you are, where you come from. And just being honest, some of the environments we go into, we're not comfortable. And it is a new environment. Right. And so we go home, we are drawn back to our community, our neighborhood, because that's a sense of us. And everybody can relate to that. Everybody want to know who they are and where they come from. And the biggest obstacle is finding out, okay, this is where I come from, but it's not conducive to my success.
Right.
And so how can I be the one person to stand out, which I'm already the one standing out because I'm the one to make it, but the one to say, I'm not going to stay out late and drink. I'm not going to be on the block. And what we have seen the struggles in sports still to this day is, especially in college level, I see it, the moment they go home, they get a DUI or, you just find yourself in a situation. And so it goes back to what Tank said, having that team around you. Because you can have guys, myself, I have friends and partners that went to jail or whatever, but they wouldn't let me do what they was doing. And so I make it a point to describe what a real friend is and how they look. And even if they make a certain decision, they wouldn't let you make it. And if they willing to let you crash out or be on the same time they on, then that ain't a real partner or a real family member. And like you said, that's any gender specific, no gender specific, but that literally is a struggle. It's real. And so my advice was just, remember who you are. Remember who you want to be. And kind of back what Tank said, remember what you already accomplished. I think it does get watered down because we become in a space where, like today, we are athletes. So we can reminisce, but we never take a moment to acknowledge what we did accomplish. And, it's a 7.6 chance of any high school kid playing at the college level. And so we always looking at the end of the tunnel, league. But when you start changing the dynamic of your family, when you sign to college, now your little brother and little nephew can now walk on a college campus and say, oh, I can go to college now. Oh, that is a possibility. Well, you the first generation grad. I had the opportunity to go to a college just last year, and to hear those athletes still saying the same thing we said when we was in that room. I'm the first person to go to college. I'm the first person to play at this level. So it's still happening. It's repeating. And so, kind of what we said, when much is given, much is required. And it's like, if you're going to be the one, then you got to be the one not only on the field, but in life as well. And so my advice to him is just working through that. It's not easy because it's no example. So it's not to be perfect. I never tell him to be perfect, just try to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? So just be consistent, a good person, be consistently on time, consistently working hard. And you understand that because you understand you have to consistently show up to play. Like Tank said, we understand it's a give and take because you want to acknowledge your accolades, but you understand that I have to perform the same way tomorrow if I want to keep this. So take that same attitude to life. You know what I'm saying? We kind of put ourselves in a box mentally, and we do have the traits to be successful. That's why most people love to hire former athletes to work for them. but you really are the owner, the boss. You have the mentality of that.
Yeah.
But you so used to being coached. We so used to being on the schedule that if we actually took the time to recenter ourselves, figure out who we are, we could lead in way more areas other than the field to perform under pressure. When you got 60,000, 50,000 people yelling, and you know it's so loud you can't even hear the call. We all have been in that situation. Boys got to just slap your leg, tell you to move, and then you perform. Like we know we all brag about being in the game in clutch moments like 4th and inches, but man, that is not a quality that most possess. And so just remembering that, remembering who you are, remembering what you accomplished, and know that even if this next journey in my life, even if something I'm uncomfortable with, I can't get through that, persevere through it, and be resilient through it, because it can't be tougher than that 1.2 cents of going to the league or something. Like the probability is not that it's not that low. Like I can still be me, I can still learn myself and still perform and have an impact in society. And so that would be my advice. Is first start with you. Like myself, when I transition, man, I'll be honest, man, I would just go work out and go home. You know, God help me get through it. You know, so I would encourage, you know, any spiritual, and I don't force it, but I will say it got to be something bigger than you.
Got to.
Just because I just say you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't be honestly the depressed and the encourager. Profess that we not as strong in this moment. That we'll be looked at differently, and most people think it's coming from a cocky standpoint, but sometimes it is, be honest, but more times than not, I admit, it's from a selfless place. It's like if I show up weak, would somebody think they can't call on me no more? And so you still thinking about somebody else in the moment where you weak. You know, so it's like, if I don't go to the league, I am depressed, but dang, I was gonna get moms a house. I was gonna take care of the family. So you more messed up about not providing, and you the one putting in the work. And so it's just that I would definitely say be patient with yourself. Be kind with yourself. Be honest though. And like I said, we had talks now. I wish somebody would have talked to me and hear it down. Just bro, we like to say don't feel played, bro. You hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? You know, just start being honest. It sounds weird saying it, but for real, like what is the underline of what you trying to say? No, I mean, you can say it however you communicate. Don't get me wrong, but just really being truthful and acknowledging that. That would be the advice I give, because you're going through a transition where, like I like to tell people, you've been an athlete longer than you've been in society. I started playing ball at 6. I finished at 24. Like that's 18 years. So literally, you know, and then you're a grown up once you get back out of society. So people try to treat you as such, but truthfully, we know between the ages and the coaches, we a little collar than there. You know what I'm saying? So I have homeboys that didn't know how to pay bills every month. Didn't know what to wear, 2-up job interview. You feel me? So it's like layers to it. That's why I say, be patient. That'll be my advice. Be open and real talk. Don't get quiet. Talk. Because I did go into isolation for a moment, and like I said, God and just keep pushing got me out of that. But it is something that I have seen teammates and friends struggle with, and they might have turned to drugs or whatever for a moment, because it's just a harsh reality to be exposed to something and then be back to where you thought you'd never come back from. So that would be my advice to them.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, like you said, be real with yourself. And that's not easy, man, especially as men, black community, whatever. Like, I don't want to feel weak. I'd have been strong. I'd have been at the top. And now you telling me to be vulnerable, to, you know, like you said, even go into another space I don't know nothing about, man, it can be scary. And so, you know, that's just what athletes deal with, man. Like, we good at what we do when it's comfortable to us, man. We can get an injury, come back 3 times in a row, right? Like, injury, come back. But the one time we step outside the game and it don't go our way, one business fail or don't make enough money, we like, man, I don't know. Nah, man, come back.
For sure.
Yeah, come back. Just like you did the injury, right? So, you know, and of course, man, it's always something, like you said, man, good that you said something bigger than you. And, you know, is when you talk about purpose, I just feel like, you know, your purpose is supposed to be hard for you because it's bigger than you. Like, it's heavy for you because it's what God wants you to do, right? So, of course, it's supposed to be hard. Of course, it's supposed to be a challenge, but man, it was a challenge. You showing up, as a freshman in college, you ain't know the playbook. What you did?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What you did? You put them hours in. You put a note card. You put I ain't got a note. Flipped it over. You tested yourself.
Whatever you had to do, right?
Yeah, you figured it out. So, but I feel like in spaces outside the game, we feel like, man, I don't know it, so I can't pursue it. I don't know it, so it ain't for me. Yeah. But I think you talk yourself out of a lot of situations like that. So. And I think, what's your insight on just, like I say, advice? I mean, you've been through it recently, just stepping out the game. What are some of the things that you had to deal with, them self-talks or whatever that you had to deal with? Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of them.
Yeah,
it's a lot of them,
indeed.
When you first walk away, you like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they always say have a plan, you know what I mean? I got a plan. I'm straight, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, that thing, it ain't real until it's real. Until it hit you, like, damn,
That's
it's
fact,
here.
man.
So I think, like first year, I'm cooling, man. I'm grinding, like you said, working out to the crib. I jumped into coaching right away, which helped because, I felt like I was mentoring, you know what I mean? Like, I still know the game. Let me pass this knowledge along. So I felt like that was a form of giving back, you know what I mean? Talk about, like, stepping outside. Like, that was, like, my form of giving back. Because I wasn't financially, right?
Yeah,
I kind of figured out my goal. I was cool where I was at.
Yeah.
It was more so about free time and how to deal with that. So jumped into coaching right away. And I was like, yeah, I know, proving a point. I know I could send somebody D1.
Yeah.
I know without a doubt I get somebody from this school to be the next one, right?
Yeah.
You talk about going back to your hood. And, like, I'm the one that made it, but how come, you know what I mean, who next? Why nobody else? So, like, what's going on? So I was like, all right, this is my give back. I know I could get the next dude up out of here from the hood, change his life and make, you know what I mean? It's a different game right now. It ain't as easy, you know what I mean? It's a little different right now. So, but I put all my passion into that right away out the game, you know what I mean? So it's like, boom, this is my way of giving back. It's taking up all that free time I got.
Yeah.
And my mental was staying busy. You know what I mean? I ain't had that time to just think. You know what I mean? But then after a year or so, you know what I mean? It's like, all right.
Now you gotta sit down with yourself.
Sit down with myself again.
Yeah.
Look in that mirror. That quiet time, and a lot of that quiet time.
Yeah.
Those ears be buzzing, boy. Be there talking to yourself. Am I doing this right? You know what I mean? What should I be doing? Yeah. We used to structure, having that, like you said earlier, structure. We so used to. Boom, being on point, you know what I mean? We ain't have a free hour to speak for, you know what I mean? Like, Coach, I'm going to the bathroom, I'll be right back. You got 2 minutes, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like that plays that mental, and it messes with you a lot. You just gotta stick through it, you know what I mean? Keep that community around you, like you said. Keep that brotherhood, man. Somebody in your corner that you can always talk to and keep it real with. Be 100 with them, you know what I mean? And they probably gonna be the same with you. They probably got the same thoughts you got going on, or you know what I mean, going through the same boat, you know what I mean, and finding a hobby or something that you're passionate about that we talked about earlier. That passion is really what drives you and what drove you here, you know what I mean? Like you said, you fought through a lot of things to get here, you know what I mean? And whatever venue you go off into, whether it's business, you know what I mean, it's gonna be failures. You got to be able to handle that, you know what I mean? Like you took everything else that freshman year when you didn't know your plays or you wasn't starting like you used to be. You came from senior year, being the man in high school, to walking on that college campus and everybody 4-5 star. You like, damn, like, I ain't gonna make it. You know what I mean? Everybody had that point in college, like I'm going back to the crib. You know what I mean? This ain't for me no more. You know what I mean? Call mom or pops like, I'm about to come back home, man. You know what I mean? So that same thing that pushed you through right there, I think just keeps pushing you through, you know what I mean, after football, you know what I mean? Just keep finding that next motivation, whatever it is, and drive and purpose to keep going. And you talked about going back to the hood and kind of feeling like, you know, you got this big thing on your shoulders. You know what I mean? You're carrying the hood with you. You know what I mean? You are from where you from. That's your hood. You don't want to forget about it. You want to be real, like. But by going back, you know, we put on our camp, so you coaching and doing all that. I think that's us giving back, right? When I was growing up, I didn't really see a lot of, you know what I mean, professional athletes where I was from. You know what I mean? So just about being there, showing face and showing like, yo, this could easily be you. You know what I mean? Like I tell every kid that, like, I really don't know how I made it, but I know this could easily be you. Like
Yeah, for sure.
with hard work and motivation and discipline and just, you know what I mean, going out there every day and doing what's right, doing the right thing, making sure you're on your grades or whatever it is, and believing in yourself. Believing in yourself is the biggest thing, you know what I mean? And showing those kids that, I think, is me being real with myself, going back to my hood or my community and trying to give back, and also like I'm not finna hang out on the block no more, right? Like, nah, bro, I ain't here for that, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't work too hard to do that, you know what I mean?
You gotta be the example.
Yeah, you gotta be an example at this point. So I'm trying to get back to the youth, man. It's no longer about my homies, you know, we still could kick it, you know, we could go play basketball and, you know, go out to eat, you know, what old heads do now, you know what I mean? We could go kick it, you know what I mean?
So we should link up, right?
Yeah, but you know what I mean, we ain't doing too much on the block, you know what I mean? So I mean, it's still all love, and I think most times, I mean, most of the guys should get it. You know what I mean? The ones that don't get it, it's probably the ones asking for a handout. You know what I mean? Hey, let me get this, let me get that. What you doing with yourself, brother? How you finna pay this back? You know what I mean? Dog, like, all right, so what's the plan when I give you this? Like, you know what I mean? What you gonna do with this? Nah, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Just being it real, because you got a family to take care of now. You know what I mean? Like you said, you playing the game and you think about everybody else but yourself. You thinking about your family, you thinking about how I could get this house for my mom, or if I fail right now, I'm letting down the whole hood. If I come to the hood and fail, you know what I mean? Like, I done messed up. I done let everybody down. So I think having that mentality, knowing that you carrying the weight on your shoulders, but it's a different way of going back to the hood and showing face, you know what I mean? Being that guy. You don't see, yeah, I mean, you don't see the president hanging out in regular communities without security. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, you know what I mean? That's your hood. You want to represent, man. The saddest thing we want to see is us back in our neighborhood as a, you know what I mean, broke or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be struggling. You know what I mean? We are that standard. We gotta hold ourselves to that standard because the youth looking now. It's not about the people that's our age that didn't make it, you know what I mean? They got to find their avenue. Y'all had your opportunity, you know what I mean? Now it's about the youth and how can we impact them and, you know what I mean, the next generation, you know what I mean? We worked hard right now and we still working, right, for the next generation, our siblings, you know what I mean? Like being the first to graduate college now, you know what I mean? All those things you said, or go to college at that, is what we're working for. So being a pillar to them, I think it's the biggest accomplishment I think we can hold right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like you said, that's the, you know, everybody, like you say, them crab in the barrels, they probably like, man, you didn't change, you ain't real. Yeah. Man, that's real. I'm for real. I'm taking care of family, I'm taking care of this. Like, that's real, you know, like, and I didn't put time, energy, my body on the line for, you know, to take care of my kids, to take care of mama and them, to take care of my siblings, to be that leader, you know, and I think that's the realest, you know, ain't gonna say it, but that's a real trait there. Like to be a leader outside of, you know, what you came from, to stand out and to, you know, not be consumed by the world. So, and consumed by your environment, and people don't understand that.